business today, and on to that conversation I promised before we went on break. Kenya has an annual housing deficit of 200,000 units, with demand still growing. Now, the government, of course, has pledged to build 100,000 units each year to address this. The visit by French President Emmanuel Macron is also tipped to see Kenya secure funding on a number of sectors. Now, to help us dissect this subject is Stephen Mungami, the project manager for Golden Scape Group Limited, and we have you here, of course, as Golden Scape Greenhouses and Silverstone Properties have launched a real estate investment of 1.65 billion Kenya shillings to their existing greenhouses investors dubbed Amal Haven Investments. So tell us a little bit about Amal Haven and what does it entail?
Thank you. Amal Haven Investment simply means a big and secure investment in terms of housing and agribusiness.
Yeah.
We as Golden Scape Group Limited, we are a hub or a one-stop shop for all agribusiness investments, and therefore we came in and we thought our investors could also be in need of housing, because as you've said, Kenya has a deficit of houses, and the targeted housing units per year annually up to 20, that is 200,000 units.
Yes.
And the current housing that we have today is less than 50,000. That shows that we have a deficit of 2 million housing units annually for us to achieve the Vision 20 target. And one of the President's Big Four agenda is to have affordable and cheap housing for low-income earners. So we thought that because we have agribusiness investment in terms of greenhouse, and we have rolled these investment for in the last 5 years, and we have seen them successful, then now we thought we could integrate this investment on providing or on provision of housing units to our investors.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
So this Amal investment is an housing project that is targeting to have 1.6 billion budget, whereby investors, the greenhouse investors, will be rolling over their returns to get to purchase houses from Silverstone Properties.
Okay, and what does the housing plan look like then?
We have low-income earners houses. We have middle level and high-end homes.
So what are the ranges like then for a middle tier?
Our houses ranges from 1.1 million to 14.9 million.
Okay.
Yes.
And you know, when you look at, of course, President Kenyatta's Big Four agenda, affordable housing is key. And like you said, there's a deficit of houses, so you're trying to, of course, stem that particular, deficit as well, and to try and fill it. What kind of initiatives do you think the government still needs to put in place in order to make it easier for such houses to come up? What are some of the key strategies you feel they can implement?
One of the major key strategy the government should put in place to make this dream achievable is, number one, working with private sectors. Private sectors like private developers and real estate companies that do provide land, and also they develop houses for their investors. This is one of the strategies that the government can use, like Silverstone Properties and other companies that provide affordable and cheap housing to low-income earners. Again, the government should also strengthen the circles that exist. Like, for instance, we have Golden Scape Circle, which is a member of Golden Scape Group Limited, and you know, these circles, investors or members come in, register, save, and at the end of the day they are given loans so that they can be able to purchase or buy these cheap houses. So those are some of the strategies that the government should put in place to ensure that we have the agenda of housing being achieved.
So certainly working with the private sector a bit more closely. And you know, when you look at the real estate sector, the Citon report that came out earlier this year was saying that 2018 was better than 2017. But what do you see of the landscape as of 2019 for the real estate sector? Do you think it's picking up robustly?
what I can say is that if we check at most of the people in urban areas, they are still living in slums. And as a result of this is that we are getting more dangers of people living in slums. Like you see what happened the other day, we had a training center being consumed by fire because of lack of proper planning and proper strategies to provide housing and other amenities to these people. So I'm saying that now with the work of people, and everybody is also, everybody wants to get somewhere to go home after work and everything.
True.
So I think in this year will be better compared to 2017 and 2018.
Okay, and even as we look at some of the affordable housing options, are there any payment plans that, with this particular Amal Haven investment that make it easier for people who want a home to be able to pay that amount?
In Gordon's Cape, we have made it more than easier for an investor to get a house with us, because we, as I've said, we have the greenhouses. Here, you only need to invest some few coins in the company, and then the company does the agribusiness part of it. They manage end to end, and then they pay you returns at the end of the day. Instead of taking these returns to other things, we are saying we have an option for you to assist you get an house. You get your returns and you roll them over to the Amal investments, whereby you pay 85% through your returns. And then the 15%, the company will take care of that. Again, we, as I've said, we have the Gordonscape Circle that is also assisting members with loans. You need to come and join the circle, and then after 6 months, you'll be able to get a loan of 3 times your saving. This loan, you can use it to purchase your apartment, and then you will repay the loan in very flexible terms.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us, Stefan, and for unpacking a lot of the factors around this situation as well. Thank you.